Yeah, this is what they want. They want to see hitters. They want to see track stars. They want to see robbers. They want to see killers.
Off the record, powered by Amadeus.
They just want to see me and my niggas.
OTR's in the building. Let's do this. OTR.
Yeah, this is what they want. They want to see hitters. They want to see trap stars. They want to see robbers. They want to see killers.
Off
They
the
just want
record,
to see
powered by
me and my
Amadeus.
niggas. How we living? Hey.
All right, everyone, we're back with another episode. Your host, Caldrick, and
Your boy Warren G. Wagwan, you dealing with?
all right. Shout out to Amadeus. Shout out to the OTR staff. Warren, let the listeners know what OTR stands for.
OTR, off the record, voices from the inside out. You already know what it is. Let's get into this.
So just to recap,
Mental disruption is basically mental health issues that can come up when you're placed in a situation that alters your lifestyle. That's what we're talking about. That's how we're meaning it. Right, Culture?
yeah, definitely, for sure. And just to focus it a little bit more, we're talking about mental disruption that has the connection with being incarcerated,
Sure.
and what effects that can cause in an individual. So the first half was about your mental psyche while being incarcerated, going in and doing the time in there. Now we're going to look at what it's like coming out of the prison system. And, the question is there an effect? Is there a short-term, long-term? Is there any type of effect or mental traumatic things that go on with an individual once they are released from prison? Warren, I know, and the listeners know, you did a bit of a stretch in your past. So I just want to ask you, was there a mental disruption for you when you came out? Obviously, there was probably a lot when you were in, but when you came out, was it a sense of relief and everything was gone, or that's when things just started really disrupting your mental psyche?
Right. Well, for me, I was in there for 11 years. When I got out, I guess the first mental disruption, I want to call it, was a sense of surrealness. I felt like I was in a dream, and for the first, I want to say 2 days, maybe even 3, I didn't sleep at all, not even one wink. I'm not sure if it was sensory overload or I just wasn't used to, not hearing the doors click and lock every night before I went to sleep. But that was a real thing for me, and it kind of made me seek professional help. But that didn't work it because these people don't really know how to talk to people like me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, after that, I'm pretty sure I was diagnosed with PTSD, though I didn't receive any treatment for it. But yeah, man, it definitely fucked with my head being in there for so long, and then coming out and then experiencing things I haven't experienced in a while, and it's crazy. It's crazy for sure.
So that's crazy, and I didn't even know that. So what made you feel like you needed to go and get professional help?
Well, the lack of sleep, number one. I wasn't sleeping at all, even though I was dead tired. I couldn't sleep, which kind of led me to start smoking weed. And if anybody knows me from back in the day when I was doing my time, smoking weed was never my thing. So smoking weed became my thing, just to catch a few Z's, you know what I'm saying? So that prompted me to seek professional help, because it's fuck, if I need a drug to go to sleep, then I need to fix the problem. But again, unfortunately, I went to speak to a psychologist, and there was no help whatsoever. So I'm still pumping it down every night. And yeah, it's just a lot of people say they're institutionalized, and they jump in the shower with their boxers on and all that stuff. That didn't really happen to me. It was more so my mental disruption it was more I couldn't interact with family members and friends in the same way I used to before my bid. You feel what I'm saying? Before, I was more friendly, I was more sociable, more physical, hugging, dapping, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying, to show affection to the people that you love the most. But when I got out, I felt the difference. Like I didn't really, want to hug. I didn't really want to like show affection like that. And it wasn't like I didn't want to. It's just like I didn't know how to anymore. Like it wasn't natural for me. You know what I'm saying? And that was another thing that pushed me to seek help. But again, it was really disappointing when I when I sought out that help. But yeah, the mental disruption was real for me for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's crazy. Sorry that you had to go through that. You know what
Nah,
I
it's
But you went and got some help. So how are things now? It's been how long now since you've been out?
fuck. It's been about like 3 years, going on 3 years now.
So how are things now? Are you still are are there still some sort of trauma? Is there trauma left back, or is there things that you still can't, readjust back to, or are you good, like
Right.
100% good, back to normal?
Yeah, no, see, like the thing with me is like I'm good now. I want to say I'm good now, but it's definitely not the same as it was before I went in. So like this is like a new normal for me. You feel what I'm saying? So like it's good now because like I've been out for 3 years and this is just what it is now. But it's definitely not the same. Like again, I sought the help. I didn't get the help. I'm still smoking mad weed, even though like I really don't like smoking weed. But now it's like it's become ingrained in my day to day just to function. You feel what I'm saying? Like before my bid, if I got heated or whatever, I used to punch walls. I used to like, do all this weird shit when I was a kid. Then when I went to jail, I kind of calmed down, and then I learned self coping mechanisms while I was in jail. But those self coping mechanisms didn't translate the same way on road. You feel what I'm saying? Like in jail, I used to just lock up in my cell, turn on some music, or watch TV, or write a fucking chapter of a book I was writing, or a poem, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Here, I can't really do that. I can't just lock up in my room. The world's going on. You feel what I'm saying? I can't just write a book. There's too much things going on. You feel what I'm saying? So like the coping mechanisms that I learned from in there, I couldn't translate out here. And again, I just had to make room for it, and figure out ways around it. And again, this has become my new normal. You know what I'm saying? So the mental disruption um, has become my way of life. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. Damn, that's crazy, man. And that's the thing. It happens to a lot of people, and you were able to get professional help, and you were able to find different coping mechanisms
No,
once you were out.
I'm gonna stop you. I sought professional help and I spoke to somebody, but again, zero help. So I didn't get help. I did not get no help whatsoever. This girl was trying to make me like fucking uh, do some like stupid fucking remedial shit that like it didn't make sense to me. Like it was just like so see through. Like fuck. I wish I can remember some of the things that she was telling me to do, but it was just so like stupid. It was just like that's not gonna help.
Breathing exercises.
Breathing exercise, like shit, like yeah, you know what I'm saying, like stupid shit like that. It's like nah, man, like that's not gonna help me in this situation. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna help how you know how I see people looking at me when I apply for jobs, or like how I see or how I miss interacting with my little brothers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the same as it was before. Like, do you have coping mechanisms for that? And yeah, she'll say shit like yeah, breathing exercises and mindfulness techniques, and that's good. Like I'm not knocking that. You know what I'm saying? That's good, but it wasn't applicable for me in my situation, or in my life at that time or at this time. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanna clarify that, and I just want to highlight that the professional help for Black men, um, especially those who have experienced the trauma of incarceration or even just fucking gang life, it's not existent. There's no professional help, and I really hope that we figure that out.
No, for sure, and definitely because the thing that that I don't know if a lot of people realize it or not is there's different help for different people. You know what I mean? Because for me, like for instance, I didn't, as we all know, like I didn't do a long stretch, but I did a handful of little bits here and there, right? That could, eventually add up to a stretch. But for me, um, there's still some trauma involved with it, and there's a mild case of depression, I would say, for me, because the thing is, when I was a kid, when we're all kids, we all plan to be, successful or doing what we love to do or wanting to do certain things. And as a kid, I've always wanted to be a firefighter, always.
Okay.
And it sucks because the criminal record that I have is never going to allow me to be a firefighter, right? So that takes my dream away. It also takes away other types of dreams too, because I can't travel to the U.S. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there might be an issue with traveling to England as well, right? So it's like when my friends are taking these road trips, they're going to New York or they're going to Atlanta and stuff like that, Vegas. I've only been to New York. I've never been to Atlanta. I've never been to Vegas or any of those places, and I can never go. You know what I mean? So it takes away a lot of dreams. So it creates a level of depression for me.
Okay.
And then the heavier weight on top of that is I don't qualify for a pardon at all whatsoever.
Oh shit!
Right? So
why is that?
Because I have more than 3 indictable offenses, and I think it was in March of 2011 they passed a law that if you have 3 or more indictable offenses, you do not qualify for a pardon. You can't qualify for a pardon. And without being able to do, and the thing is, my last conviction was in 2011. So with that, I can't apply for a pardon, meaning that I might never be able to travel to these places. In addition to that, I can never apply for my citizenship because I can't apply for a pardon. And it kind of sucks because I did have to go through an issue with immigration, and it was a 4-year battle because they had deported me based off of criminality. So that always hangs over my head that I can be kicked out of the country that I've been growing up in since I was 6 years old. Where I have children, family. I don't know anything about back in St. Vincent. The last time I was there for a visit was when I was 17. I'm 35 now. You know what I mean? I don't know anything down there, right? So that leaves a level of trauma for me and a level of depression because I can't accomplish things or I can't, reach any of my dreams that I had for myself. I had to create new ones and settle for what I can get. And that brings me into what I want to talk about is the diminish of self-worth and personal value. Being in the prison system, inmates typically, are denied basic privacy rights. They lose control over mundane aspects of their life. You know what I mean? Where you're confined to small spaces, your privacy is taken away from you. You've got to shower, you've got to go in the shower with your boxers on, and you can't even comfortably take a shower because you're looking around to see if you might get attacked in the shower because dudes be getting attacked in the shower. You know what I mean? And it's just like, these things that we take for granted when we're on road, they get taken away from us so much, and it creates this sort of it creates a diminution of self-worth. It kind of conditions you to believe that you don't deserve anything more than what's being given to you. And then coming out on road now, and then, for instance, like me, I can't travel certain places, I can't be a citizen, I can't vote, I can't do these things. I have now settled with the fact that I can't be as good as the person standing next to me that can do all these things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So my value has gone down. So when I stand beside somebody else that can do all these other things, I look at them and I said, they are of greater value than I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm able to handle it, right? I'm able to handle it, but some other people might not be able to handle it as much. You know what I mean? Especially if they have close family in the States that they like to go and visit and stuff like that. I have family in the States, but we're not that close. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's those are some of the things that I go through. Um, did you ever have? Do you face any of that? Like, any type of self diminish or anything like that?
I did for like probably the first year of me being back on road.
Mhm.
I felt the exact same feelings that you're describing. Like I felt like I wasn't like good enough. Like I would never amount to anything because of my conviction and because of my record and shit like that. Right? Like I was a convicted murderer. Like the most I can do is probably like work in construction is what everybody was telling me. It's not my parole, my probation officer, my fucking my ex lawyer, my family. They're saying, yeah, the only thing you can really do is work with your hands. But it's like, and again, there's nothing wrong with working with your hands. Anybody that does construction, home improvement, all the power to you. But that's just not my speed. You feel what I'm saying? So like, for 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 a good year, I felt like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Like, and then I had my old friends, my old associates are saying, yeah, fuck, brother, you already know what it is. Come back to the dark side. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the world is saying that you can only do construction and all these other jobs because of your record. But obviously, we're kings. We can do so much more. Come do this with us. Come do that with us. And these guys are making bands, as some of our listeners are familiar with. When you're in that side of the tracks, it's very easy to make money. You feel what I'm saying? But even that, I didn't want to get into. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like that was something that I didn't want to go back into, and it was a struggle for me for that first year. So I was bouncing around between these like low paying jobs, and my self esteem was taking a hit because like with that, like I just got introduced to the monster called social media, and everybody was on Instagram flaunting their money, everybody's on Snap flaunting their bands, and here I am working at a burger shop. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely felt that. But I guess the way I coped with that is I said fuck it. Like I don't give a fuck what society thinks. I don't give a fuck what everybody else thinks. I'm going to make it, and if I need to make it if I need to make it my own way, then I'm going to make it my own way. And then God opened up some doors for me, and that's how it went, right? But there's a lot of brothers who've touched road and did time with me and stuff, and they contacted me, and they're experiencing the same things. Like they don't know what to do. They feel like shit. They feel like the only way to get ahead in this world is to like fucking go back to the life of crime, because they don't want to work with their hands, or they don't want to do the jobs that society says that we need to do, because again, we're quote unquote not good enough. And I feel their pain. You know what I'm saying? I feel their pain.
Mhm.
Yeah, man, it's just fuck.
No, no, it's all good, man, because I can understand. What I want to talk about next is the impact that something like this can cause on family members and close friends. But before I do that, I just want to put it out there for the listeners. If anybody is going through anything like this, if anybody is facing any kind of trauma or having issues with adjusting, back into regular life after just coming out of incarceration, there are like a lot of support groups. There are a lot of support systems out there that you can tap into, and definitely reach out to us, and Warren and I can help assist with that. But even if you just want to have a little chop it up with me or Warren, just to talk about it and kind of like pick our brains on what we did and what helped and what didn't help, we're welcome to that too. So just a heads up for the listeners, feedback, questions, everything, just hit us up. Everything, just hit us up. But yeah, so moving forward, I want to talk about the impact that would have on family members, and just trying to manage the triggers, so you don't lash out to close friends and family members, because they don't know, they don't know your experience. They don't know exactly what you went through. They can only imagine,
Right.
and they can hit you with a trigger that just makes you snap, and how you manage things like that, because you have to understand that they don't know. And then you also don't want to lash out on them because, these are your loved ones, your close friends and family members. So I'm going to start off by simply saying, for me, and I think it's kind of like the same for a lot of people that do just get released, we kind of stay to ourselves for a couple weeks, at least. Slowly, I know for me, I slowly started, hitting people up and saying, hey, what's up? I'm out, such and such, whatever. It was only literally at the time, my girlfriend, probably my other closest friend at the time, and then my mom, obviously my sisters and stuff would know that I'm out. But I wouldn't really hit anybody else up. I know for some people they hit up everybody like, yo, I'm on road, let's link this. For me,
Right.
that wasn't it for me. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I had to adjust to certain things. Like I had to adjust to getting my space back, my bed,
Right.
taking showers, food. I had to adjust to so many things. The first thing right off the bat, I'm an original fat kid. So what I would do is when I was in the bin, when I would see commercials for like all the different fast foods, pizza, burgers, the new stuff that came out,
Oh
I
man.
would make a list. I'd make a list, and as soon as I come out, like I know what I want the next day and the next day and the next day. And I remember one time I got released from the Don, and right across from the Don is a KFC, right? So my mom and my cousin picked me up, and they're like, "You must be hungry or whatever the case is. Let's go get some KFC." I'm like, "No, I don't want none of that. I know exactly what I want. Take me to Wendy's." Take me to Wendy's. I know exactly what I want. And we couldn't really find one in the downtown area, and my mom, she's just like, let's just get away from this jail as far as we can. So we ended up going down on Queensway there and went to the Wendy's there, and I got what I wanted, and that just made my day. And then I just started continuing after that. So that's all I did when I came out. I just kind of readjusted and kind of started appreciating the things that are being given back to me, and just eat, and that's how I kind of started to be able to manage my emotions by doing things like that, not just putting myself in the middle of a large group of friends and doing all of this and all that. That wasn't it for me. And then the other thing too was I was more concentrating on what not to do, like what to do not to go back. You know what I mean? And I think that overwhelmed my thoughts a lot too, because I was just like, well, I'm used to a certain type of life. You know what I mean? And now that I'm back out on road, I need to go make some bread. And there's only 2 or 3 ways I know how to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get this really good paying job right away, right off the bat. So I got to do a 1-2 things. Well, I want to do 1-2 things because that's going to put me right back in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just all of that. You know what I mean? Were there any issues like with any of your family members or loved ones when you were released, when you came out? Was there a disconnect?
Oh, there was a huge disconnect, brother. Yeah, for sure. With like, I don't want to, start talking about who I'm disconnected with. 'Cause I'm not trying to like aggravate the beef, even more. But like, there's certain family members I was like extremely close with before my incarceration, that I am no longer close with, and them not visiting me or them not checking for me in the ways that I would want them to have checked for me obviously plays a part. I have this stigma of being a convicted killer, or being associated with gangs and guns and all that fuckery. So a lot of like my family members have just ignored my existence pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like out of sight, out of mind. And even when like I make the paper for like positive things, like I get messages from family members like, maybe you should stop talking about your story because you're bringing down the family name and all this stuff. So yeah, definitely there's been some yeah, some blowback with the family, and that's what sucks, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the family that brings you back to who you were. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the guys that who are coming out and they're contacting me, they're experiencing the same thing. All right. So, yo, Caldrick, we talked about all the negative aspects of being incarcerated and what happens when you're released in terms of mental disruptions and what you feel and what you go through. But like, what are some of the positive things that happened after you touch road, like inside your mind? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the good things that changed in your mindset after jail?
Well, shit, I'd have to say the top of the list is fuck, I'm out now. Like, you know what I mean? That's at the top of the list. So I mean, it's
Right.
like it's even though you do go through the different levels of trauma and stuff like that, and your brain is all fucked up because of the time that you just did, that you can always just be like, shit, I'm out. Like, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the main things that kept me going. But I will say, like, for one, like I said, I had to restructure my dreams and goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a saddening and a bit of a difficult process, but it was something that took my time and energy, right? I was able to focus on that. I had something to do other than focus on other things that I shouldn't have been focusing on. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And in order to rewrite that, I had to think out of the box. I had to think positive. So that little process enabled more positive thinking for me. And when I did my longest out of the handful of short bids that I did, I actually came out. My daughter was born. I came out on a TAP, which put me in a position to be there for my second
And for
daughter's
our
birth.
listeners, what is a TAP?
Oh, so TAP is basically a temporary absence program. And what that is, it's not parole, but you'd have to have a good reason to be released on that. But it could be for a situation at school where you have to physically be there. It could be for a job, or it could be family members not well and you need to be there, and stuff like that. And if the system feels that you're not a risk, or you're not a flight risk and things like that, they'll grant you that. So it's temporary absence from the jail, but there's a time frame when you come back and they trust that you'll come back. For me, I was able to get TAP up until my parole, because my parole was coming up within the next 2 months. So, and I know that if I do good on my TAP, because they're giving me a chance, they're obviously going to give me my parole, right?
Right.
So for me, it's like I had it in the bag, and that was the thing. They gave me this chance. I know it sounds kind of fucked up, because I don't want it to be like, oh, they gave me this and I'm so grateful. You know, I am grateful, but I'm grateful to God for giving me that opportunity. I'm not grateful to the system. I'm glad that the system has something like that in place, but y'all's the ones that put me in there in the first place. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I will take responsibility for my own doings, because I did do something for you guys to put me there. But you know, it's just, I don't like the system at all, so I hate thanking them for things. But just having that mentality, knowing, you know what, if I don't fuck up this opportunity, I'm gonna get my parole, and then I won't have to do a whole 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? And I could start moving on with my life. And the TAP got me out to be there for my second daughter's birth. And then it went into my parole, but it also helped me do some things I need to do to qualify for a program called Breaking the Cycle, which was an amazing, dope program. And that program, and the people that I had surrounding me, my support systems, that put me that was like the door that I stepped into, that opened up all the opportunities for me to kind of be where I'm at now. And so having those things in place is what really helped me. And being able to utilize that program for what it was, and the people involved, and the support systems, and the joy of, having the blessing of my second daughter, all of those things wrapped up helped me sort of reshape and restructure my goals and dreams. So I basically had a table full of all these positive things that I was working on that didn't allow me to go so deep into the negative. Not to say that I didn't. I had my times and moments when I did. And this is just one time when I was released. There are other times when I was released and I didn't have these things happening. So that was a positive that I could speak about that helped me get to a certain place. And it was fun thinking of new goals and new dreams, because like I said, I had to think outside of the box, and I had to explore myself a little bit more and see what else I wanted to do and what else I liked and what else I was good at. So that was my positive moment being released that I could speak about. What about you?
Fuck. For me, positive. I guess just to give you like a short and narrow of it. It just put a lot of things in perspective for me. Whereas before my incarceration, I didn't really give two thoughts about the consequences, or what my actions really meant, like who it really, impacted. Not only myself, and not only, let's say, the victim, or or like whoever I was warring with, or whoever I was like doing whatever against. Like it impacted everybody, not, like me, my family, my community, the victim, their family, strangers. Like it was a big ripple effect that I wasn't aware of. So after my incarceration, like one of the positive things that was embedded in my psyche is that, for everything that you do, that you have to pay. You have to pay for it. You feel what I'm saying? Like there's no getting away from it. Some people will commit a crime today, and they'll be laughing tomorrow, but like you're gonna have to pay for it at some point, from if not from the justice system. Like I'm a big believer of karma, and if not karma, I'm a big believer of a law of God. You know what I'm saying? And God will make you pay for all the things that you do. You feel what I'm saying? So, um, one of the biggest positive aspects of my incarceration, it was just changing my perspective on the impact that my actions and even my words have in this reality. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I'm with it. But this is OTR, Voices from the Inside Out. Thank you guys for listening. This has been super dope, this conversation. I feel like we can talk about this over and over and for so long. What do you think, Kojic? You think we should
we could definitely go on. Right. Definitely go on, but we don't want to wring out you guys' ears for too long, because then you'll get sick of us and you won't want to listen to the next episode. Right. So we're going to cut it here. But in relation to that, we do have a few special guests for the next episodes. So just in case you guys are just like, shit, man, I'm tired of hearing Warren and Kojic. I want to hear somebody else. Y'all going to hear somebody else. So I hope you guys stay tuned for the next episodes coming up. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And like I said, shout out to Amadeus. Shout out to the whole TR squad. Hit us up, feedback, questions, anything that you guys can lend, supports, anything. If we got any listeners from different organizations out there that can help be a support system for some of the individuals going through some of the things that we talk about on our show, let us know. It takes a community, so let's all just hit this up together and just try to do what we can do. You know what I mean? OTR, we're out.
You're listening to OTR, Voices from the Inside Out. Hit us up on Instagram at Amadeus TO. So at Amadeus, AMADEUSZTO. Or you can email us at otr@amadeus.ca.
Yes, OTR listeners, it's that time again. It's time for us to drop another banger from one of our local artists. Here's Denny with Love Me. Y'all take a listen.
What's good, everybody? I hope everything is well with you guys. You're now tuned into Off the Record, powered by Amadeus, and it's your boy Denny here. You're listening to my new song, Love Me. Let's go.
Can get these feelings from me. Your heart is what I want, so baby, love me. You're the only one I want to love me, so love me. Like a treasure that's hidden, they search for your love. Yeah, they search for your love. They mad that I have you, I guess I'm in love. Yeah, I guess I'm in love. Void in my heart and that shit had me stuck. Yeah, that shit had me stuck. But your love is a blessing, got me out the mud.
Merch alert, merch alert. You already know what it is, man. We're doing a merch drop. Limited edition, change over chains, hoodies, designed by Exclusivity and Trent Out Loud. I'm telling you, these sweaters are dope. I already got mine. Make sure you get yours. 100% of the proceeds goes to Amadeus, their services. It helps to man them out. So, do your part. Get your sweaters now while supplies last.
Sweaters can be found on amadeus.ca.
Love me. Nobody else can get these feelings from me. Your heart is what I want, so baby, love me. You're the only one I want to love me, so love me. You and me, baby, ain't no in between. Yeah, tell me your secrets, I'll tell you my dreams. I know I'll be worth it if you do not leave. I'll give you my heart and not just a piece.
Listeners, what do you guys think about that? Let us know. Hit us up. You know the handle. OTR, Voices from the Inside Out.